is your dad white? And I was like, I don't, it's my dad. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You know, it's like, you're brown. Yeah. Like, my mom's brown. Why is your dad white though? Like, I was like, oh, I never thought about it before.
Yeah.
Never even crossed my mind. I wasn't like kids don't, like they say racism's taught. Well, non-racism isn't taught. So
Yeah.
you're not racist when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You're just like, you're a person, especially if your interactions with, obviously, my first interactions with a black kid, I was like, wow, you look different. And he's like, yeah, you look different too. It's like, cool, let's play with blocks. You know,
Same.
that was a conversation.
Seriously, same.
But, you know, it's like when you're going, no, you're different and you're always going to be treated differently. I think that puts something in kids' brains. It's like, it's almost like saying
It's segregation in your mind.
it's like putting someone on the edge of a cliff and going, don't jump, don't jump, don't jump, don't jump. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're getting your nerves rattled. Like,
Yeah.
am I supposed to jump?
Yeah. Am I supposed to think differently of this person?
It's reverse psychology. You know, you tell everyone treats this person differently. Everyone treats this person differently. And you're like, well, should I treat them differently?
Yeah. Well, and the whole thing is that I do think systemic racism should be taught in class, but not in the sense of racism, in the sense that
You shouldn't be telling kids they're racist just by being white.
Exactly. And I also think that learning quality skills in life, like such as balancing a checkbook or whatever the fucking skill is now that you should be taught. You should be taught these things so that you can make a better life for yourself. If you're just being taught things that humanity has done to other humans to hurt them, and you're not learning how to be better from that,
Yeah.
then you're just going to learn about hate. You're not learning that there's all of the other good sides of history where people have come in and fought for the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think if history would have been tackled that way when I was in school, probably would have been more excited to learn about it. Like, but instead it's just very negative. It's a very negative learning experience. And I think if you're adding, you're white, so you're racist to the context.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important, like you said, like Juneteenth, we didn't learn about a lot of this stuff in school. I didn't know about the Tulsa.
The Tulsa Massacre. We didn't know about that. I didn't know about that until I met you.
Right. And when you moved to Tulsa, they're like, oh yeah, there's one of the most biggest things in history ever happened here. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah, it was like hundreds and hundreds of people in the streets.
Like, teach
there was
people.
The like half the town was on fire. There was gunfire. It was like, what?
And it happened twice, actually.
It's crazy.
The first time they were halfway successful. The second time they burned it all to the ground.
Yeah. And it was a very successful, it probably is one of the things that set Tulsa back for so long, because it was great for jazz musicians to go through there. It was a metropolis. It was just like money was flowing through there because there was such a diverse economy of, you know, black people. I mean, they had their own trades. They had their own markets. They were
booming. They were doing better than the white people that were in the town.
Huge economy. And then the other side of it was like the white side of town was all oil. So it was just like money was just flowing. And Tulsa was going to be they projected it to be like bigger than New York City and Los Angeles. And after all that shit that happened, it just kind of, like I said, is a dark shadow in history, and no one ever talked about it.
Well, and that's the thing. You can't not talk about the dark shadows in history.
We have to talk about history.
Exactly.
We
if
learn
you don't,
from history.
Then that's where things get repeated. And I just feel like the critical race theory approach has a way of putting segregation back into schools, but in your mind.
It's
not
psychological.
Yeah, psychologically you're creating segregation. And I don't think that's the way to go about it.
Yeah.
I also don't think that you should shut people up from teaching history, though.
Literally, the definition of racism
You know what I mean?
is treating someone different because of their race.
Yeah. And I do think that certain statues should be taken down and replaced with better statues. I think that if someone's done something great, in society and made society change for the better and make people nicer to one another,
Yeah.
those people should be in statues. That should be our priority, is to show that the people that we idolize are people that we hold to a higher standard. People like fucking RBG. She should be a statue for sure. Like, there's things that, like, there's the women of NASA that you never hear about. It was like 4 black women that fucking created so much shit in NASA. You never hear about them.
Yeah, one of
Like, why aren't they statues?
that one
You know what I mean?
that one model. She was literally a model and an actress, and the reason why our cell phones work is because
Yeah.
of things she invented.
Like, I
Crazy.
want to see that. Like, that's the kind of shit that I also want my kid to learn about. Like, there's fucking all these people that have
It's because
Given.
of oppression of history is the reason why our society's fucked up. It's
Yeah.
not. It's always when we keep things from each other.
Yeah.
It's always when we treat each other differently.
Well, it's the same in a relationship. If I were to hide things from you,
Yep.
why are we even together?
Yeah.
What's the point? You know what I mean? Like, the other day I was able to eat some watermelon and fart in front of you, and that was fine.
Yeah. And it's like
I mean, there's obviously deeper things.
yeah, you know I have mistresses, but it's that transparency that keeps us
stupid.
together.
It's like everyone knows, you smacked me around a few times and I deserve it. There's
You know your place.
So
And we've
bad.
learned this from history.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's just a lot of things happening right now, and I hope Bernie Sanders I got really sad about him last night too.
I know you're like,
I started
he's
crying.
gonna die. He's the last honest person.
I love him so much. I really do. I cried when RBG died, and I feel like if Bernie were to ever go anywhere, I'd really lose my mind. And he's eventually gonna have to. He's fucking old.
It's
And
gonna happen one day.
but my thing is Democratic Party has fucked everyone
Yeah.
by letting the senile piece of shit run our country right now, which I get it. I voted for Biden, but it's because it was the lesser of two evils. Is it? No. It's just I
don't know.
don't want to hear Trump. That's the only thing. If they had a different person on the Republican side, it would have been equal.
Well, he was divisive and race baiting.
He was fucking awful.
I mean,
He loved chaos.
yeah.
And I don't want chaos. I just want someone to sit there and be fucking a puppet to whatever party they're with. Because let's be real, that's what presidents are. They're puppets.
I don't remember anyone storming the Capitol when Obama was president.
And
I don't remember people storming the Capitol when George Bush was president.
Exactly. He was just chaotic. And here's the thing. That's why the Democratic Party didn't want Bernie Sanders, because Bernie isn't fucking compromised. He isn't corrupt. He hasn't been taken.
Yeah.
Because he is a man of his word. He has always been the person that he is from fucking birth, it seems like. Like, that guy has just been solid through and through. And he would not be silent if anyone tried to bribe him with anything. He would bring it straight out. He'd probably be shot within 2 weeks of him being president. I guarantee it. Because he would be too radical, and in the sense of putting everyone's laundry out there. He wouldn't give a fuck. That's his purpose. His purpose is to make sure that the American people are actually being treated fairly and correctly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with fucking...
Yeah, and it might be, I think, because we always talk about this in politics, the pendulum swinging back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone like Bernie would be good, because we'd go, okay, well, we can't have crazy socialist ideas that will lead us down a rabbit hole of poverty. But there is an inequality right now.
But he's not...
Because there is poverty.
And everyone was so freaked out about Bernie being like... Everyone's always like, oh, you love Bernie, you love socialism. Not at all. Bernie has found multiple ways to make our country literally run exactly the same.
Yeah.
But just take money where it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, a small...
To form.
Literally one penny
Yeah.
per transaction of...
The stock market. Trading.
Not even the stock market trading, just hedge fund trading. So in between hedge funds, when they swap money and they just build interest, and they do that 1,000 fucking times a day, shift money around.
Yeah.
Just 1 penny on each transaction would be enough money. We're talking
to cover
millions
medical.
and millions of dollars.
And by the way, medical that he considers medical is not only your body's health, but your teeth and your fucking eyes too. That's part of your body, you pieces of shit. Like, who's fucking walking around blind with no teeth doing well?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm like,
Yeah, don't we want like a great America
like
where there's not homeless people shitting in the streets?
Like, literally, I had a weird tooth pain the other day, and I was like, but that might make another medical bill if I go in and get that looked at. I literally had to just like be like, I'm going to let this ride for a few days and see what happens. Ended up being like a piece of beef jerky that was stuck in there. But still, like, I
need to get some more of that gum. When we were chewing that xylitol gum, which we got to watch out because xylitol is bad for dogs. It's like a super toxin, apparently.
I didn't know
for
that.
dogs. But the xylitol gum, we were getting pure. I had have sensitive teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Which I never had my whole life, but all of a sudden
teeth sensitivity.
My sensitivity went away. But then I noticed last night, this one tooth started getting slightly sensitive again because I was like, ooh, that water's just a little too cold. But when I was chewing the xylitol, gone.
I just like...
It also makes cavities disappear, apparently.
Like, I get it now when old people start spacing out their medication because it's too expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not covered.
What are we doing?
Like, it's fucked up. Like, come on. The fact that people are putting other medical needs on hold so that they can make one medical need happen is just like, you don't want people to live normal. And the fact that a prisoner or a crackhead gets better health care, or at least they're getting health care, they don't have to fucking pay for it.
Well, it's like we always talk about.
I'm a functioning person of society, and I have to pay for $1,400 for us to get our kid genetically tested. Why is that not considered a necessity? I want to know what I need to prepare for. If my kid's going to have some sort of setback, I want to be able to make that setback normal for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I would want to make my house paraplegic friendly.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Or maybe I want to get a fucking abortion because I know mentally I can't fucking handle a sick kid.
Yeah, or
like,
say you're like, oh, your child has some genetic abnormality where the headquarters, the best hospital that deals with this thing is in fucking Florida.
Yeah.
So go, okay, well then we'll move to Florida so when the child's born, they'll have best treatment available close or whatever.
Yeah, because there's some babies that are born with their heart out of their fucking chest.
Yeah, yeah.
And they die immediately. I would want to know that. I would want to know that the kid I'm producing is probably not going to make it.
Yeah.
Like, let me know so I can mentally fucking prepare and not just be sidewinded. Like,
yeah, instead of going, well, it's $5,000 to just know that.
It's so fucking weird to me. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then to bill me 5 months later for it.
Yeah.
That's another weird thing. Fucking get your billing together.
Well, like we always talk about, like, we're okay with certain social programs because they're already there. We're okay with the cops.
Yeah.
We're okay with firemen. We're also okay with our tax money going to roads. Everyone drives on roads.
Even though all the roads always look like shit.
Yeah. But I mean, when they pay, the idea is that this is a service that we all use.
Yeah.
We don't care if there's a Bentley on this highway or some crackhead's, donut tire fucking beat up car.
Yeah.
We don't go, well, that donut tire person shouldn't drive on this. I mean, I say that while I'm passing them, but they're still allowed to drive on that road and we all pay for it.
Yeah.
We're okay with those things. But when it comes to medical things, it's like, well, I'm not forking out my money to give it to some no good, government suckling piece of shit, non-bootstrap having.
It's true. Like, but then that person falls behind on medical bills, right? Yeah. I'm just saying, theoretically, this person has a crazy meltdown. They end up going homeless. They end up breaking into someone's car because they need somewhere warm to sleep.
Yeah.
And then that person goes to prison And then they get out of prison. Now they have a record. Now they can't get any help that they actually fucking need. So then they go through this mental breakdown process. Say they mentally break so severe that they end up stabbing someone because they think it's a fucking weird demon.